Good evening, everyone. I'm going to announce something that you probably already know. How much the left-wing media, the MSM, lies. And that even our most intelligent among us, which are the ones that all went to college and got degrees, most of them are socialist, left-leaning Democrats. Even though they go to school and they study all this stuff, they still listen to the left-wing media, which is spouting out a bunch of lies. One reason, which has happened in the past administration, is that Barack Obama sent or indicted more journalists for espionage than all our presidents combined. So he sent more journalists to court to go through trial, to go to jail for espionage. He put fear and terror into them. Not only was he reading off a script that he could not say anything without TOTUS in front of him. We know when he's messed up, because we remember when Aretha Franklin came to the White House and he was honoring her. And the song Respect, all of us have heard since we were children, have sung it, especially him, because he's older than I am, and he heard it when it first came out. He should have, if he lived in this country, over and over again, which is baffling, because it's when you're very intelligent and you're reading something, there's a second before you read it that you realize that something is misspelled and you pronounce it correctly, especially if it's a word that's really common and you've heard in a song over and over again. Well, when he was reading TOTUS, the person who was typing it in misspelled respect, so it was RPSTE. Instead of RESPECT, which, see how I can say that without TOTUS in front of me? It's amazing. But he misspelled it as if he's never heard the song before. It's almost as if he's never grown up in this country, just like when Hillary and John Anderson and the big flag was behind them and they're playing the national anthem and they had their hands on their hearts. So at least they're telling the public, look, we're Americans, we want to be the president of America. We're showing you how American we are. Obama had his hands by his side. Either it was in defiance to show how cool he is because he hates America, or it's because, unlike nearly everyone in this country, when you're a child, the first thing you do when you go to school, you pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And you put your hand over your heart. It's totally automatic. And you're not pledging the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem, you are not pledging it to the government that takes our money. You're pledging allegiance to stand behind the people of America. So if you need to fight for the freedom of the people of America, then you will do so to keep America free. It's saying we stand together as one people under this flag, which is under God, our Creator, that has given us our rights. We are endowed with these rights from our Creator because a right that's given by man, like under communism and socialism, there is no God. So all your rights, if you have any, which you don't, are given by the state, and the state can take them away. In this country, when we broke away from England, our founding fathers wrote that our rights come from our Creator. Our rights come from our Creator and cannot be taken away. And there's no arguing about it. That's why that's so good, and that's why we do this. So the left wing, we know that the media has been taken over by socialism. When socialism came over to this country, Andre Marcuse came from the Frankel school and indoctrinated further us into socialism. One, we know that FDR sent the brain trust over to Italy to learn all about fascism, which is socialism. Okay, same damn thing. Nazi Party, National Socialist Party, which means national means Germany, Social Party of Germany. A little bit different form of fascism than in Italy. In Italy, they didn't persecute the Jews. But nonetheless, the state runs everything, and you have no rights. You are selling the state. You have no individuality. Everything is government run. And that's what everybody wants here. And they want the first thing they do is take the guns away. That's what Hitler did. That's what a fascistic regime does. And that's what all the socialist communist regimes do, because they're all socialist. That they disarm the public so we cannot fight back, just like in Venezuela, where they're being run over by tanks. The guns were all taken away. They're eating out of trash cans. They've eaten their pets. They've eaten the zoo animals. They haven't had toilet paper for years and years and years. And they're sitting on an oil reserve that is at least 6 times greater than Saudi Arabia. Why is this happening? Well, Hugo Chavez, that great guy who took all the money, all the profit from the oil, and he put out all these socialist programs. But then after he died, they found out the country went under, because socialism lends itself to a dictator because it's one-party rule and the state runs everything. So you no longer really elect a president. They call themselves revolutionaries, but it is military rule. What he did, he embezzled all the money. He embezzled billions of dollars from the people, because that's what dictators do, and that's what you want. And right now, Bernie Sanders, if you go to his website, says right on his website, he might not take it down yet, how great Venezuela is, and all the wonderful things that Hugo Chavez did, and how all the people are living comfortably, they have everything they need, all that baloney. Right now, he has it on his website. But my guess, he's going to be taking that down when enough of us stand out and tell you through alternative media, which you're not hearing from the media that you turn on, or like Slate and Salon and the Young Turks. The New York Times, the WAPO, the Boston Globe, I would say LA Times, pretty much all media. Why is all media like this? Because President Bill Clinton, this is a great book, No One Left to Lie To, by Christopher Hitchens. Okay, actually that's wrong, because Hillary started. Well, they continued with their speeches, and then Hillary was elected to the Senate and wanted to be elected president, and they continued to lie. Well, this guy, Bill Clinton, there used to be a rule that if you owned a newspaper, you couldn't own 2 or 3 newspapers. If you owned a magazine, you could not own a television station. You could not own multiple forms of media. That way, we had 600,000 different owners that had different political opinions, different way they even viewed the party that they belonged to. And you had investigative reporting. But Bill Clinton changed that rule. Now, only 6 1%ers, multi-billion-dollar corporations own all the media. So the candidate that they back is that they put the money in their pocket and they elect into office because they've got all the money, okay? So that's why they usher these candidates into office. That's why, Hillary, how many billions of dollars she had? Over $2 billion. And I'm sure there was a lot more that we don't know about. There wasn't official on the official books. Well, they put into office, the media puts into office the person, or these corporations, the person that is going to vote in legislation that helps them, not the people. This isn't something that's impossible to change. So that's why it's impossible. And it's stupid. No matter I don't care how many degrees you have, how smart you are. knowing this truth alone should tell you you must question the media, and that we had a dictator that basically everything was a screenplay. Everything was being read off a script. What he said, and when you went into the press room, you could not ask your own question. You were given questions, and they already had the answers written. So everything looked like it ran smoothly. But in Trump's administration, there are spies, there are people leaking, because the Obama people, see, the government is filled, 95% of the government gives to the Democrats, gives to the Democrat presidential candidate, and gives to any Democrat candidate. So you've got an enormous amount of people that are against Trump, against running this country anyway, from socialist-leaning Democrat, the party of the KKK. I really don't know how you can listen to me, but you don't know all these things because the media only reports and harps on whatever they want to harp on. And instead of talking about the things that are really happening in the world, like Christianity, Christians are being massacred all around the world, and we're not really hearing it because of the people that are massacring them. And in this country, Jews are the most persecuted. But everything is blamed on the Christians and the Crusades. And the lie about the Crusades, simply do some historical reading about the Crusades. Why, after 300 years, Christendom waited. Pilgrims went to Jerusalem and were raped, robbed, and murdered. And then Christendom got together to push the Saracen Knights out. Why did the Saracen Knights take over Jerusalem? Well, first of all, Muhammad said that Islam would take over the world. That's the destiny of the world. But it would start with Jerusalem, and the first thing they took was the Temple Mount. That's the Temple of Solomon. That's where the Ark of the Covenant was. For 3,000 years, the Jews have owned the Temple Mount, right? So that was taken over, and no Jew or Christian or anybody has tried to destroy that mosque. Nobody has touched it. In fact, Israel, with all their faults, are the ones that are protecting all the holy sites, including the mosque. And there are Muslims on the council, in the government of Israel. And Nazareth, the mayor of Nazareth, is a Muslim. In fact, he got mad at Christianity a couple of years ago, and for Christmas, he barred anyone from visiting Nazareth. That sounds really, really nice.